This is BBC News from London. Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
The YouTube star announced she and her husband welcomed their daughter on September 14th with these sweet pics.
I'm pregnant!
Is this real?
Yes! Yay!
I'm crying!
The King has been diagnosed with cancer.
Kate Middleton has revealed she has been diagnosed with cancer.
We had the baby May 24th, which was, we had a scheduled C-section, and everyone, she's pregnant. Yes, I'm pregnant.
I thought you were just eating good.
Pope Francis, we're getting a statement from the royal family in England. As King Charles III says, my wife and I were most deeply saddened to learn of the death of Pope Francis.
Okay, really after this past week, we have to talk about it, the Trisha Paytas prophecy. Now, you've already seen the title of this video, you know that's what we're talking about, but like, I cannot ignore it anymore because three times this has happened and I just need to do a deep dive on it. Like, the coincidences are so crazy that we really need to just dissect this. Because Trisha at this point feels like a divine being. Also, welcome back to my channel, everyone. I'm going back to my roots. We're doing pop culture deep dives. We're doing a lot of fun stuff on this channel coming up, so definitely stay tuned. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me explain the Trisha Paytas prophecy to you in its entirety. I do want to add a little bit of a disclaimer. No, I do not think this is real. Like, I am not one of those people that actually believes this to be true. It's just really fun to talk about, and there are some people on the internet who believe in this, and there's not any crazy magic going on in my opinion, but again, the coincidences in this are insane. Let's go back to 2022 when Queen Elizabeth II tragically passed away on September 8th. Now, people immediately took to social media after that to say, oh my God, Trisha might be in labor right now, giving birth to the reincarnation of the Queen. Because I hadn't heard from her in a while, we knew her due date was in September, and since she hadn't been posting, honestly, it was a fair assumption to think that she was in labor at the time. But a day later, on September 9th, Trisha took to TikTok to say like, listen guys, I'm still very much pregnant. I saw my name trending on Twitter yesterday and it really freaked me out because I've been trying to stay drama free through my entire pregnancy because I don't want to be stressed. And once I saw my name next to Queen Elizabeth's on the trending tab, I was so scared that I didn't know what to do. And then of course it just felt so disrespectful to address it that day. So she waited just to say, listen, like, I'm still pregnant, haven't gone into labor. But she ended it by saying the ultimate internet troll did get trolled by the internet that day. And then just 7 days later, Trisha did give birth to Malibu Barbie Paytas Hockman. And the internet did continue to draw that comparison. They were like, it was only 7 days later, and I really feel like the spirit of Queen E is inside little Malibu. Trisha honestly did lean into this joke. She was liking, reposting, and commenting on videos, especially on TikTok, where it really blew up. But after a couple weeks, people had their fun, everything started to die down, and no one really thought anything of it. Until about a year later. In November of 2023, Trisha Paytas announced that she was pregnant with her second child.
Pregnant!
Is this real?
Yes! Yay!
I'm crying!
And a quote tweet of the announcement went insanely viral, which said, King Charles, you will begin to cough in 7 days. This tweet had like 300,000 likes and like millions of views. So of course, people started to jump in on this joke as well, which led to Trisha trending once again. And sure enough, a few months later in January of 2024, Buckingham Palace did announce that King Charles was admitted to a medical facility to treat an enlarged prostate. And then, like clockwork, people were very, very quick to draw the parallel between Trisha being pregnant again and King Charles being in a medical facility, saying that this is gonna be the second time. Like, King Charles is on his way out and Trisha's going to have her second baby be the reincarnation of King Charles. Honestly, it just got worse because then the speculation of Kate Middleton started to run rampant on social media, honestly. They had said that she was going to be having an abdominal surgery in January of 2024, but then people started to notice that she was not seen after that surgery, and a lot of crazy conspiracy theories went viral, one of which being that she got a BBL, another saying that she's really sick, another saying that she's getting divorced and they're keeping it under wraps. There were so many rumors swirling around this time. And because of that, people were saying, oh my God, maybe it's Kate Middleton and not King Charles. They're having like a diva off to see which one is going to be reincarnated as Trisha's child. And then King Charles took the edge when on February 6th, it was announced that he had cancer. And that is when people were like, there's no way he's making it through this. Because the internet jokes really started to pick up again after the diagnosis, Trisha did take to TikTok to say like, listen, I feel super stressed every single time my name is trending on Twitter. I don't love being stressed as someone who is pregnant. I was able to lean into the joke a little bit more with the Queen Elizabeth thing, but now it's just feeling really morbid. And she didn't want to manifest her child being the reincarnation of King Charles because he's not a great guy.
These are literally all the comments on my last TikTok about a baby basket that I was gifted. Trending on X always gives me immediate panic attack. And then just seeing the headline of how I'm linked to the downfall of the royals. Like, I know we don't like what Charles did to Diana. Okay, I get that. But like, once again, this is like an actual baby inside of me. And the only king it should be related to is the king of rock and roll, Elvis.
She then followed up on this on the Just Trish podcast. She was way more lighthearted on the podcast versus in the original TikTok she made. You could tell that she was getting kind of anxious about it when she started speaking candidly on TikTok. But on the podcast, she was able to have a little bit more fun. The episode was titled, Is Trisha Giving Birth to King Charles? Addressing the royal family conspiracies. Trisha point blank said, I don't want it to be Charles. Honestly, I'd prefer a Kate Middleton reincarnation.
Just don't love that it's King Charles or Queen Elizabeth. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it was like, I'm not wishing that, but if it was like Kate Middleton or something, you know, it's like cute. Like, okay, I'll take a Kate Middleton reincarnation.
And that was crazy foreshadowing because at this point, we did not know of Kate's cancer diagnosis. Also, Trisha mentioned that Malibu gave her Queen Elizabeth vibes, like very regal, very royal.
Times, and I'm not even being funny, but sometimes I'm like, she does give me Queen Elizabeth vibes, you know? She's just...
I tried so hard.
She really does, though. She's just like older and like regal.
When she's picked up, she will wave like the queen, and she's like, well, maybe there is some truth to it. And when I see Malibu, I'm like, well, maybe she has a little Queen E in her, and I don't want my next child to have any of King Charles in him. So I believe in manifestation, and like it freaks me out that like one, people think that this is like legit, and two, that people are like manifesting this because like what if that is true and reincarnation is real and like then I have King Charles as my child. So I totally get where she's coming from, especially like the second time around with people then actually believing in this like for real. And Trisha basically told her audience like, stop this because I'm fine with the Queen E baby, but I am not fine with the King C baby. And honestly, I get that. A couple weeks later, Kate did announce her cancer diagnosis and explained that during that abdominal surgery, doctors did find cancer in her body, which is why she had been MIA the entire year. And then again, it became like this royal roulette of like, which one, if either, is going to pass before Trisha gave birth.
What, me or her?
Which, again, saying this out loud is like so crazy that like the discourse on the internet at the time was like, OMG, who's gonna like pass first? And then like be passed on into Trisha's baby. So crazy. Like Trisha was trending so much during the span of months because there was new royal news like every other week. However, Kate and Charles both made it through the birth of baby Elvis, and then things went pretty silent until March 3rd when Trisha Paytas announced that she was pregnant with her third child.
She's pregnant. Yes, I'm pregnant.
I thought you were just eating good.
And people online really didn't know who the next target was gonna be. Could it be King Charles again? He's still actively battling cancer. Maybe it's Donald Trump or someone else. People just knew that when Trisha announced a pregnancy, what comes after is usually a major figure announcing that they are sick and on the verge of passing away. And then people realized that around the same time as Trisha's announcement, Pope Francis was admitted to a medical facility to treat pneumonia that he had in both lungs. It was revealed that he did come close to death, but on April 6th, he made a public appearance. It looked like he was doing better. People were saying he was doing better, so it seemed like, okay, maybe it's not Pope Francis. But unfortunately, cut to 2 weeks later, Pope Francis tragically passes away from a stroke, and the Trisha Paytas prophecy post started up like clockwork again for the third time. Now, I just need to say, like, it is so crazy. Throughout Trisha's 3 pregnancies, there have been major figures pass away or be very close to it. And these are people that are like very large historical figures. Queen Elizabeth, King Charles, Kate Middleton, and then Pope Francis. Like, insane of like the timing of everything. Again, coincidence? Yes. Magic? No. But it's crazy that it happened 3 times. But it gets even wilder. The process to select a new pope, the conclave, began on May 7th. Now, one thing you need to know about a conclave is like there is no set time. Basically, it ends when there's a majority vote on a new pope, and it can take days, weeks, months. The last 2 have been pretty quick. Like I think the last one was 2 days and the one before that was 3 days. But you never know what's gonna happen once they get in there. So when Pope Leo was chosen on May 8th, which happens to be Trisha Paytas' birthday, people were like, wow, this really is another sign that Trisha's baby, who is also a boy, could be a reincarnation of the Pope. And let me just say, Trisha did do a gender reveal in Los Angeles at her live show. She said she was having a boy and did make a quick joke about it being the Pope reincarnate. And like, I think she's back to playing into the joke. She did mention it a little bit on the podcast as well. As opposed to with Elvis, she really was a little more stressed about it and was telling people to kind of like chill with the jokes. But Pope Leo was chosen on Trisha Paytas' birthday. And guess what? Pope Leo also has the same birthday as Trisha Paytas' firstborn child, Malibu Barbie, September 14th. It also doesn't end there because the Pope, Robert Prevost, is from Chicago, and Trisha Paytas actually grew up in Illinois after she moved away from California after her parents got divorced. So the Pope and Trisha Paytas both grew up in Illinois, technically. And to really round it all out, Trisha Paytas' dad's name is Francis. He goes by Frank. And lastly, Trisha Paytas is due in July. I think it's earlier in July. However, if the baby is born past the 22nd, then his sign will be Leo, matching up with the new Pope Leo, and he could be the reincarnation of Pope Francis, and Pope Francis and Pope Leo also were really close. So all of this is like literally so insane. Like really, when you break it down, there are so many coincidences, and the social media jokes around this have been so funny over the past 3 years. Like it's insane. And I don't want to make this video and have it be like misconstrued. Like I don't want to play into it seeming like it's real. I do not believe it's real. I love Trisha. She is like the sweetest, kindest person ever. I just wanted to make this video to tell you guys about the prophecy, explain like what the social media joke / trend is and like why people lean into it. So that is that. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Sorry it's a shorter one. Trust me, I have some really, really fun things planned for the future, but please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you've seen these tweets, these jokes, these memes, because for me, they're like unavoidable, but like my For You pages are like very Trisha Paytas heavy. But definitely let me know down below and have a great week. Love you guys.